Suggest under unfinished business. First one being a verbal update from staff on the Stage 2 Wellfield Management Report. Okay. And the second one is just frame it broadly, communications, a status update on a couple items.
Okay, and a couple items being?
One would be status update on work in progress, and that would build off of the last CAO report we had from March, okay, just in terms of where some of the items are in their progress to date. And the second item would be the community update, okay, so where we are on that and what can be done to get one out for July.
Okay. Any other additions or deletions? Okay, hearing none. Motion to approve as amended.
So moved.
Councillor Haynes, second by Councillor Coulson. Discussion. All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. June 8th, 2015, regular council meeting minutes.
Move receipt.
Move approval.
Okay.
Move approval, Councillor Haynes, second by Councillor Coulson. Discussion. And none. All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Two items of correspondence dealt with separately. First one from Roy Cardinal, President, Royal Canadian Legion Seaview Centennial Branch number 257 regarding certificate of transfer of Cenotaph ownership from the Legion to the District of Lanceville. So the Legion has contacted the district with the idea of transferring ownership of the newly completed memorial cenotaph located in Huddlestone Park. What we would need in terms of it is a motion to direct the mayor to sign a transfer agreement, so which would then make it district property. I've had some discussions with Mr. Cardinal about the idea of a ceremonial transfer either later in the year, possibly in September when school and all that's back, so they can involve the school.
Okay.
Okay, so what we need is a motion from council approving the transfer substantially in the form as represented.
So I move that council authorizes the mayor to sign an agreement substantially as represented in the certificate of transfer of cenotaph ownership from Legion to the District of Lanceville.
Second it?
Second.
Councillor Haynes. Discussion. Councillor Haynes, I believe you sat on the Cenotaph Committee.
I did. I think the Cenotaph Committee not speaking for myself, but the members here did an excellent job. It was a 2-year process that they worked on this. It involved a lot of community support, which they had overwhelming. And I think they did an excellent job, and all I hear is really positive compliments about the Cenotaph. It looks really good, and it turned out better than what most people thought. So I think congratulations on a job well done.
Okay, how about recognizing the members of the committee that are here?
Yes, there's Jim McEwen was the chair of the Cenotaph. Roy Cardinal was a member, and are you still the president?
President, yes.
Still the president of the Legion. John Hollywell was also a member of the Cenotaph Committee, and then there was a number of other members that aren't here.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll just say, it turned out better than I thought. I think it's a real centerpiece for the village, effectively, and it's already been put to use more than once. So, job well done on the part of the Legion.
Thank you.
Okay. Anything further? Okay, all those in favor of the motion? Opposed? Motion carried. Second piece of correspondence, Island Trust Council requests to advocate in support of their request to provincial government investment for 25% reduction in minor route ferry fares. So it's coming from Island Trust Chair Peter Luckman to the ICC members. We can reply, we can motion to receive, whatever you'd like to do.
I move receipt.
Move receipt by Councillor Haynes, seconded by Councillor Coulson. Discussion? Councillor Haynes?
The reason I just moved to receipt it is that there is an opportunity at either the AVICC or the UBCM to speak to this, so we'll have a chance at that time.
Okay. Anything further?
Sure. I'd just like to see more of their calculations. That's quite an investment they're asking for and a reduction in fares. But I'd be curious to know their calculations for what the return would be to support such an initiative. Mm-hmm. For another day.
Okay. Anything further? Hearing none. All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Mayor and council verbal updates. Councillor Hain.
Basically, we're still ongoing with our Minetown Day preparations, which is September the 12th. We have a number of new committee members, which is excellent. They're working hard to bring forward a great day to remember our community heritage, and we're looking forward to hopefully bringing some new and creative ideas forward for the next event. But no, the group is great.
Good. Thank you. Councillor Coulson.
Not much. A few meetings ago, I spoke to council, or a willingness for council to have a focus in each meeting on some positive activities in the community. Reflected on that a bit more, and I'd actually like to expand that if we could, to also include staff in that process as well. A couple of things I was knocking about was some presence on the website, district website, of the volunteer service organizations in the community and some of the folks behind those organizations. And another idea might be have an annual volunteer appreciation day, something to that effect. So with that, I'd actually like to make a motion. On the first side of that, so I'd like to council request a report from staff on costs, time implications, on what would be required to add a section on the district website focused on volunteerism.
Second.
Second by Councillor Hain. Discussion. Question for you. When it comes to volunteerism, are you speaking with respect to volunteers assisting the district, such as the Minetown Day group and the Parks and Rec Committee, etc., or are you talking more broadly?
I would say, in my head, the bar is set very low. So anything that helps the community in some capacity. Okay. And tonight was a good example. We just spoke to the Cenotaph stuff. It's great to recognize those in a positive way.
Okay. Yeah. So more of a community-based than a district-based.
Yeah.
Okay. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Anything else, Councillor Coulson?
Nope, that's all.
Okay. For myself, last week, or a little over a week ago, I did attend the Regional Advisory Committee of ICE-T, which is the investment fund for this section of the island. Interesting that plans and processes are still coming forward, different proposals coming forward from various areas with regards to increasing things like tourism and the economic activity within the Central Island. Another thing, actually, tomorrow I'll be also attending the Tumut Treaty Group discussions. Since they did their agreement in principle in April, they seem to be ramping up their progress with the idea of moving to a full treaty within a year to 18 months. Interesting group to sit with, sitting on the provincial side. Tomorrow's agenda is full. It actually carries over to Wednesday, but I can't attend on Wednesday. But it may at some point have effect on Lancefield, but at this point not determinable. And then the last thing is just increased concern about dumping, not just in Lancefield, but kind of region-wide. For example, Little Mountain up by Parksville, the level of dumping there is severely increased. So if people can be paying attention to vehicles coming out of strange places, taking down license numbers, that sort of a thing, would help with the dumping initiatives or controlling dumping initiatives that are affecting all the communities. Okay, nothing further. Unfinished business. The agenda items that were added: Wellfield Report Stage 2, Wellfield Management Report Stage 2. Councillor Coulson.
Yeah, so I was just looking for some emails back and forth, but just looking for an update on the status of the Stage 2 Wellfield Management Report. Just to kind of recapture why I'm asking that. Of our strategic plan session, and then when that motion was supported, as part of the consideration of what and how water might proceed in Lancefield, the feedback from that report was kind of the first priority, and then we would go forward from there. So just kind of looking for an update on the timing and having that in mind.
Yeah. Through you, Mr. Mayor, to Councillor Coulson, I spoke today with Fred Spears about the Wellfield project. Actually, I even spoke to him last week about it. But what I understand is there was a hydrology portion that needed to be done, a report that needed to be done, and then incorporated into the Corps report. That was prepared, I think, and finished in March of this past year, and then incorporated into the Corps report. The Corps report was in a draft form, and it was then reviewed by an independent third-party engineer to ensure that any biases that were in that report were offset. And then Fred, also our Director of Public Works, he reviewed it, and there were a few amendments that he's made, so suggested changes. So I think what's happening is it's going to come forward in a draft form either the end of this week or the beginning of next week, is my understanding. And that at that point, I think it will be further reviewed and finalized, and hopefully it would be able to be tabled with council, depending upon where we go with a council meeting in July. But if we change the meeting and we end up with the July 20th meeting, hopefully by that meeting on July the 20th.
Okay.
That's what we're aiming for.
Councilor.
Yeah, even if we could see a draft on the July 20th, if that's the meeting date, would be great, just so we get a sense of where it's at.
Okay. Any further on that item? Okay. Second item that was added: communication, CAO report, and community updates. Again, Councillor Coulson.
Yeah, so the first item in that was building off of the March CAO report, Jim, just to get an idea of where some of those work items are and where they are on the queue and potential timelines for delivery.
Yeah, I think, again, Mr. Mayor, through you to Councillor Coulson, I received your email today about that.
Right.
I think I did respond that I would try and get an update to council here fairly quickly. So, in recognition that there was a March 20th report and it had a work plan attached to it, I will consult with other staff as well and find out where we're at with these various items and then bring that forward back to council hopefully for the July 20th meeting.
Okay.
Oh, and then he wanted to...
Yeah, that was point two of that. So,
okay, so on the community update, there will be one that goes out before the July 20th meeting because we needed to go out on some election things. We had, while I was away, I think in April or May, direction to hold the community update, but if council's fine with us going back to getting that out, we'll incorporate some other regular items in it too.
Councillor Coulson.
Sorry, direction to hold the community update?
Actually, I can give some information on that. There was some discussion when we were a larger council, but we'd lost some, about updating the community with regards to the status of council at the time. So at that time, there had been some discussion about holding it at that, and which I believe was actually a motion at the time.
I knew I was away.
Yeah, I'm going back.
But I knew when I got back it hadn't gone out, and that really
so that held up
Yeah.
the one in May, I guess. So I believe that's what she's referring
so
to.
we're good to go. That's great.
Councillor Haynes?
So just when do you anticipate it going out? Do you have kind of a date? Is it going to be the beginning of July or?
Yeah, because I'm kind of focused on the election stuff. It would be the beginning of July. Sorry, we're having to adjust this a bit. We're doing another one, like July 23rd. That would be the August one to sort of ramp up the final voting days. But we'd also like to do the regular one, which normally it would go to the post office the week of the 29th.
June the 29th?
Yes.
Okay.
For stuffing in boxes for July. Yeah.
So if there's any space in it, it'd be nice to have something in about My Town Day.
Yeah.
So I can touch base with you on that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Any further on that?
A question, is there a blurb in that too about the fire sensitivities in the area right now?
Like fire regulations and existing burning bans,
burning,
things like that?
I recall last summer that there was at this time of year. I just sort of an overview of what we do is we take our standard messaging that we put in and then sort of put a call out to the department heads and the fire chief of what's your key messages this month. And then some make it, some don't, depending on space that's available, because we try to keep it to the two sides.
Right.
But with the election one, it's a bit longer.
I think there's a message from council or something was asked or something. You can speak to staff.
Yeah, we'll
Okay.
figure out the content.
Okay.
But that timing works good. June 29th.
Okay.
Okay, anything further?
Nope.
Okay, which gets us on to new business development permit application number 3060-20-EP15-119. There's some information there from our planner Lisa with respect to a development permit application regarding the removal of existing house and deck, construction of new house, also addressing works that currently exist with regards to the property in the steep slope and coastal protection area. Lisa, anything you want to add?
No, I think it's very comprehensive. Maybe if you've got questions, I can answer them.
Okay. Councillor Colson.
Sorry, I got a dumb one.
There's no dumb ones.
See what this one might be.
Okay.
Development permits, they don't typically come before us for approval, correct?
Yes.
All of them do?
Yeah.
It's just we haven't had very many then.
No.
Okay.
Well, there's development permits, there's variances, there's development permits with variances.
Yeah, this is
All of
the
them.
first one I've seen of this type then.
Okay. Yeah, like, for example, the one that we had last meeting was a variance.
Yes, we've had a few of those come through.
Yeah, so in terms of it, the development permit areas are set within the OCP, and so anything that occurs within those areas, we're required to come to council basically. And one thing I was always taught is you could not refuse a development permit, but you could give regulations, conditions, that sort of thing.
Okay.
So you can put conditions on it to make it acceptable.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. So, staff report. Staff's got a recommendation regarding approval of a variety of things. Questions, comments, motions? Councillor Colson.
Yeah, I've got another question. On page 18, general requirement number 6. Just looking at the wording, and I might be reading too much into it, it says the applicant is also encouraged to plant dense, low-growth shrubs, etc. Why is it encouraged? Why not, if we want that, why isn't it more specific? Will or leave it
This is
out?
actually wording taken from one of the reports that was provided as part of the previous covenant.
Okay.
And so
It's kind of soft, and so given someone's discretion, if it's encouraged, if I don't have to do it, I won't do it, type of thing. So just looking for stronger language there, if it was needed to have that.
Does it need to be allowed to
we can put it as a shall. It's just there is vegetation right now along the bank that is fine. And it was the recommendation of an environmental consultant with that wording to continue that type of planting.
Right.
So if council would like, certainly that word can be replaced with shall, if that's something you'd like to see. I didn't feel it was absolutely necessary, given the geotech report that the bank was stable. The new house construction is a full floor back. It's been made clear that if they interfere with any vegetation on that slope, that they've come back for development permits.
Right.
So that.
Yeah, it's nothing that I personally have an opinion on. I noticed the wording and thought it was interesting.
I would suspect that if there was existing problems on the slope, then it may read as a shall.
Yes, that's right. And they provided us with the geotech with the works that had already taken place without a DP, saying that the bank was stable and the works were done without compromising the integrity of the slope. So I was fairly comfortable, based on the 2 professional reports that came in, using this language. But I do respect if council would like to see something different, that we can certainly put that word in.
Questions?
The Holy Grail of shrubbery, Roger the shrubbery.
Other questions?
No.
Or motions?
So I move that council approves development permit application number 3060-20-EP15-119 to allow removal of an existing house and deck, construction of a new house with decks and patios, general residential landscaping, and address works undertaken without a permit on stairs in the patio within the steep slope and coastal protection development permit areas and subject to the general requirements outlined on schedules numbers 1 and 2 attached to the staff report.
Second.
Second by Councillor Hain. Discussion. Just note that in terms of the drawing, the existing house is within that, the steep slope area
Okay.
and the coastal protection area. So from that standpoint, that's going to be removed, which requires a permit. The new house is actually going to be way further back of the 15 meters, so it's going to be an improvement in that regard.
Yep.
Any further? Hearing none, all those in favor? Opposed, motion carried. Council meeting schedule. Due to the fact that we wouldn't have quorum on July the 13th, and due to, I believe it's some vacation times, the suggestion is that we condense the meetings to July the 20th rather than July the 13th and 27th in July. And then in addition to that, because of the inaugural requirements for the new elected councillors, for us to schedule an inauguration meeting in August after the election. So what would council like to do? Okay? Go ahead.
For the council cancels the regular council meeting scheduled for 7 p.m. on July 13th and 27th, 2015, and refers regular business to a special council meeting to be held on Monday, July 20th at 7 p.m. at the District of Lanceville office, second floor of 7192 Lanceville Road, Lanceville, BC. 2 parts or 1 part? For
Let's do it all in one.
Yeah.
And further, that council schedules a special council meeting inaugural for newly elected councillors to be held on Monday, August 31st, 2015 at the District of Lanceville office, second floor, 7192 Lanceville Road, Lanceville, BC at 7 p.m.
Second.
Second by Councillor Hain. Discussion. If anything comes up that's time sensitive in that regard, you can always hold a special meeting in order to deal with that procedurally. So it does deal with the quorum issues. Nothing further? All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Which gets us to public participation. Public. Yes, sir. Name and address.
Bolton, Spears Road. And I would like to, Mr. Spears isn't here tonight, but I'd like to thank him for the fellow that he got to clear the side of the roads. Did an excellent job. 1 place down the road from us, he even left 3 clumps of flowers. Never seen such. Anyway, excellent.
Thank you. Further participation? Hearing none? I need a motion.
I'm okay, Brandon.
Yeah. Actually, just read the first 2 sentences,
First 2 sentences, okay.
which gives us the sections of the community charter.
Okay. I move the council closes the meeting to the public pursuant to sections 90, subsection 1A, C, F, G, and I of the community charter for the
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. No. It gives us the section.
Because it's got to be a lot set for just 3. The meeting's a lot faster.
I suggest
So you're right.
because you pass out the
Yeah.
So,